Good morning, guys. Welcome to Operation Crypto. Price analysis today on Elrond. We've not touched Elrond for a long time on this channel, and I've bought some recently. I've been looking into it, and everything I've seen so far, I'm loving. So, starting to stack now. I'm starting to stack Metis. I'm starting to stack Elrond and Egld. It is that asset now which I'm looking to accumulate more. So currently sat at $57.77. The market in general is starting to push up, but Elrond in general has not had much of a bounce, to be honest. I mean, even you look at the very lows, some assets have done significant price rises. This is currently only around 57% up from the lows to the current prices. So if you take a look at Metis, for example, and you look at that bottom there we formed, and then we've risen from the dead there, look at that. We've done like 220% move, so I'm starting to accumulate altcoins, and let's say in this video we'll talk about Elrond. I've got a level marked up here, which is a major level of resistance, which is a weekly level really. If we look at a weekly time frame here, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 taps within that same level. So for me, that is a solid level of resistance, which the price does need to conquer before we do any type of bullish price action. So that level is at $65.80. So it's not a million miles away. So that is a level we need to break above. If you're looking for some buys, really, I mean, you can look at a few key levels. We've got this region here. Look at all this support around $49.50. It's a psychological number. It's a nice round number. It's halfway between 100, as you can tell. And it's just an area where people think. Some people say, look, I'm not buying Elrond again until it's below 50. Might not happen. Some people just buy everything they can at 50, so it's one of those. I think a lot of people have been buying around $49 and $50, and you can see that has had a good reaction on price around those levels where you can see every time we come into an area we have bounced. So that's an area to consider. In terms of structure, we are starting to build some market structure now. What we are doing, forming higher lows followed by higher highs, higher low here. And what we are looking to achieve next is getting some closures above 65.80. Once we get back above there, we will form that higher high, which is needed to form that structural base before we do take the next leg up or next leg down in some cases. So 65.79 is a level where I think there will be some major selling pressure, but once it does break above that, I think we'll really start to see some decent price action. If you're looking for buys, then I'd still consider $49 to $50 is a decent region. If we do get a bit of a downturn to the downside, you can see price could still come down here. We could retest those levels. And just be wary of the general market sentiment, not just in cryptocurrency, but globally, macro globally. There's recessions looming. We've got a lot of fallback from COVID. We've got the Ukraine-Russia conflict that's going on that is hammering fuel prices. So there's a lot going on in the world, and there's still that possibility that a price could come down and test those levels at $40 and potentially lower. I don't think so personally, because in my opinion, cryptocurrency is that hedge against the traditional financial systems that we have in place. So for me, I think there's a good chance that you may get buyers filled here, but it depends on what goes on with Bitcoin. If it does start pushing up to 28k soon, ultimately altcoins are going to follow it, and we may start to get that rise above this region here. As you can see, let's just move that line. Yeah, just pull it back. So that is the next thing I'm looking at. We've got buys there. If we do start breaking above this region here at 65.70, then we've got to look at some other levels where we can TP, and for that we need to take a look at a weekly time frame. And in terms of levels, I mean, you've probably got the peaks of this movement around here. If you look at this, there's quite a significant amount of resistance around this area. See all these wicks around here, and then we've got that top there. So that's a region where I think the price could go, and that's a significant move away. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at in terms of price from current levels here, you're talking around a 75% move just up towards that region. I think it's possible. I think it's definitely possible. It's a fairly new asset, really, to be honest. I mean, we're listed on Binance since August 2020. I think it came out in 2019, so it's around 2 to 3 years, maybe 2 years old, this asset. Yeah, it is, because I watched that 2-year anniversary video yesterday, which is an absolute epic video. If you should watch that, if you go onto the Elrond YouTube channel, watch that 2-year anniversary video. It was a really great insight to how the team came along and how the project got built. But yeah, we've mentioned a few things. We mentioned buys. I think this is definitely an area to sell at $65, and then look to reaccumulate if it does reject, and then hopefully the price will start creeping back up, and we'll start to see some nice steady rise. So we're looking for a rejection here, and then hopefully a breakthrough, get some daily closures above here, and then push up towards this region here where I think there will be some major selling pressure up there as well. So that's it. I'm not going to talk too much in depth about anything else. There's no point looking at any other strategies, any other indicators, because I think indicators can cloud your judgment. If you watch my channel, I only tend to concentrate on a few indicators. So I look at support and resistance, which is a main one for me. Support and resistance is massive. It gives you those levels to accumulate, whether you're buying or selling or looking to take profit or looking to enter. I use the RSI sometimes where I'm at around mid-ground on my daily time frame, so that shows that we have definitely got room to manoeuvre way above. And I mean, it's been clinging on to that central round for a while. As you can see, once we dropped into that oversold territory, the price did react and we started to push up, and that's the same across the board. Across most cryptos, we have hit this oversold box and pushed up. If you look here, when we hit that oversold point on the 23rd of January, which was here, we got a great reaction. We went from around, what's that price there, 21%, and we pushed all the way up to around 63%, which gave us that massive wick up here, and then we sold off, and you can see the price did start to gradually come down. So use the RSI to your advantage, use support and resistance to your advantage, and potentially, if you're looking for buy-ins on a certain asset at a certain price, the Fibonacci is potentially a good tool to use. Looking at the very low point here, up to the very high point there, as you can see, we've come into that golden ratio box here. I always look, if I'm looking for buy-ins of an asset that's done a decent move to upside, we'll then put the Fibonacci on from the bottom of move to the top of move, and we'll wait for a retracement to come down into that golden ratio pocket. And look at that, we have hit that pocket to an absolute T, and we have reacted off it 1, 2, 3 times and pushed to the upside. So for me, Fibonacci's, support and resistance, and RSI are the only 3 tools you need. You can go into all these crazy indicators and looking at different stuff and paid indicators, and don't waste your time in my opinion. Use those ones that I showed you here. If you want to learn how to use them, if you go into my lessons section or the tutorial section on my playlist on here on YouTube channel, you'll find plenty of free lessons there to teach you how to use things. Just 3 basic components there. Try not to get your charts too messy, otherwise it just ends up being a bit of a nightmare trying to predict what's going to happen. But that's it. That's my thoughts on Elrond. Levels to buy, levels to sell, and then once we do achieve these levels up here, what I'll start to do is look at some profit taking regions further along the line. But that's going to do it. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button. I'll catch you next time.